Hi, I'm Steve Spear, a senior fellow here at the IHI, a senior lecturer at MIT, and author of the book The High Velocity Edge. Ideally, people would have a reliable methodology when they're charged with responsibility for designing, operating, and improving complex systems, those in which the work of many people has to come together harmoniously towards some common purpose. But there's a problem. Most of the time when people take on those responsibilities, they do so haphazardly, and the results are predictable. Chaos, confusion, frustration, inefficiency, and underperformance. We've created this exercise as a countermeasure to that problem. And though the exercise may seem rather trivial, a lot of fun, but may seem trivial because you're going to be making paper airplanes, what we've discovered is that this methodology is very, very robust across a very broad range of application. Thank you and have a great time.
So hi everyone, welcome to the Paper Airplane Factory. What we're going to do today is practice the skills of designing a system. And we're going to practice those skills by designing a factory that makes paper airplanes. So here are the rules. Your customer has ordered 18 planes, which are all laid out for you on the order sheet in front of you. You're going to have 5 minutes to produce and deliver all of those planes. You must deliver the planes in order to the customer. The customer will then accept, and I'm the customer, just so you know. The customer will then accept or reject the planes based on whether they meet the order criteria. For example, large or small, angled or straight. And lastly, you get credit only for the planes that are delivered, not just produced. So you have to actually deliver the planes. Sound good? Okay, let's begin. So this is called the design round. You're going to have 5 minutes to work together to design your system to produce the paper airplanes. The first step, and we're going to do this together, is review each plane so you know what each of the symbols in the instructions on the order sheet means. Please note that you'll be allowed to keep the model airplanes at your table only as examples. You cannot use them as completed planes. Once you've designed your system, we're going to go ahead and clear the table, and then we're going to run your paper airplane factory for 5 minutes, and we'll see how many planes you can construct and deliver. Based on your output, you'll then have a chance to redesign your system and try again. That is, of course, if you need another chance. So you guys have 5 minutes to design your system starting now. Okay, so now that you have your system designed, you're going to have 5 minutes to fill the customer's orders of 18 planes. Again, make sure you go in order, and me as the customer can either accept or reject it, making sure that you followed the correct procedure. So if I do reject something, you'll just have to do that plane over again. Okay? So again, you have 5 minutes. Ready, set, go. What happened was it was an arbitrary division of labor, which means that you guys were all determining how it should be organized, like large planes and small planes, for example, because you haven't deconstructed the work to understand exactly that every plane is really the same. Before we start the next round, we're going to construct a plane together so you can understand what the context of the work really is. And so I'm going to ask one of you to write down each step on a Post-it, and the rest of you follow along with the plane making. So does anyone want to volunteer?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Great. Thank you. So make sure that each step has its own Post-it note, and try to keep those Post-it notes in order. What we just did was establish what the customer wants, which is large versus small planes, 1 versus 2 seats, straight versus angled wings. We also figured out what the actual work was before assigning responsibility for each task. So now every Post-it note has to have an owner who is responsible for completing that task. Every person must have at least one Post-it note. So before we go ahead and start the next round, take a minute to assign each of the Post-it notes that Andy put together to an owner. I'll let you guys do that now. You have 5 minutes to complete the customer's order. So again, you're starting from scratch. Ready, set, go. The confusion in the chatter was a little bit different this time, as you can imagine. The first round was sort of what should I be doing, and the second round was a lot of what plane should I be working on. Moving on to round 3, the first thing that you can do is, if you'd like, you can reassign the tasks. It looked like what was happening and there was a little bit of a bottleneck there. And what you can do is maybe move 1 or 2 steps to someone else in order to make the process a little bit better. The second thing I'm going to ask you to do is come up with a simple way to never have to talk about which plane is going through the system. You could use a post-it note to number each plane from the order sheet, or more specifically have the first person in the workflow add a post-it note to each plane with its assigned number, so that the rest of the group is going to know which plane they're working on when it reaches them. So it looks like your system works. And again, we're going to clean the slate. So you have 5 minutes to construct all 18 planes in order for the customer. So with that, I will say ready, set, and go. This system, of course, eliminated the need to communicate with each other, which really slowed down production in round 2. And I'm sure that if we gave you another round, you could probably figure out how to do it perfectly and do the 18 planes. But that's the end of our exercise. We have some discussion questions here that we'll talk about afterwards. But why don't we take a little quick break, decompress, and thank you for participating today.
As you undoubtedly noticed, the team that was running that exercise went from a very haphazard approach to designing, operating, and improving the system for which they were responsible, with all the predictable chaos, to a much more methodical approach and with much greater stability and reliability in the work they were doing. Undoubtedly also, you're going to have exactly the same experience when your team runs this exercise. So good luck with it and have fun. After all, you are building paper airplanes. And when you're done, please join us for a webinar where you can join me and IHI Open School chapters from around the world where we're going to debrief on this exercise. Have a good time. Bye-bye.